You're listening to CFRN, a community of believers who trade for a living. To learn more about who we are, what we do, and how we do it, call toll-free 1-866-928-3310, and we'll send you out a no-obligation information kit absolutely free. 866-928-3310. The CFRN Emini Futures Cast is now on Stitcher. Listen to us on your iPhone, Android phones, BlackBerry, and WebOS phone. Stitcher is smart radio for your phone. Find it in your app store or at Stitcher.com. Stitcher Smart Radio, the smarter way to listen to radio.
Are you ready, Steve? Andy? Yeah! Bert? Well, all right, fellas. Let's go!
You're listening to CFRN, the Christian Financial Radio Network.
Today's broadcast is brought to you by Audible. Get a free audiobook download at www.audibletrial.com/CFRN. Over 85,000 titles. Choose from mystery, romance, religion, science, technology, business, New York Times bestsellers, even children's books. You name it, Audible has it. With 85,000 titles to choose from, you're sure to find the perfect audiobook for yourself or to give as a gift, and it's absolutely free. Just point your browser to audibletrial.com/CFRN. That's audibletrial.com/CFRN. And become a part of the audiobook revolution by downloading your free audiobook today. audibletrial.com/CFRN.
Hey, trader, want to get rich quick? Well, good luck with that. If, on the other hand, you actually want to learn how to trade, the place to be is www.cfrn.net. Tune in Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. Eastern for our daily devotional, and then spend the next 3 hours learning how it's done from professional traders who actually trade for a living. That's www.cfrn.net. Every trading day from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern. CFRN, a community of believers who trade for a living.
Good afternoon, traders, and welcome back to the CFRN Emini Futures Cast. This is the daily broadcast of Indeterminate Length, where we discuss all things Emini, along with some really big ideas on the finer points of trading gold, bonds, crude, sugar, the euro, and even T-bills. Joining us today from our studios in Boston, Mr. Michael Borth. From our trading desk in Chicago, Mr. Burton Schlichter. Now, to get things started, let's go to our host and founder in Studio A, overlooking South Mountain, America's largest city park. Here's Dwayne.
Good afternoon. Welcome back. Today is Thursday, the 4th day of October, 2018. Hey, glad to have you with us. Thanks for joining. We made it through the hump day again, and we're on that downward slide into the weekend. Right? What's not to love about that? So, whoever you are and wherever you are, thanks for joining us. We're glad to have you here. I've got a chart up. You thought I was going to say the S&P 500 Emini Futures. Today it happens to be NQZ8, as in NASDAQ, the December contract 2018, and it would be logic 247, alert number 529. Keep in mind, after the 3-week public beta, we started with alert number uno. Yep, sure enough. Before it was beta 1, beta 2, and so now that's a lot. That's, well, it's relative. Is it a lot? Is it too many? Not enough? what the market presented. How about that? That's what it presented. This tells a great story. Now, if you can't see the chart I'm talking about, well, just close your eyes and imagine. No, go to our homepage at CFRN.net. On the right-hand side of the page, there's a big microphone. Just click it. Within 30 seconds, you'll be registered all the way through the end of the month. You only have to register once per month. That gives you 30 days for 30 seconds, and that's a good deal. One-click access to the show. While you're out clicking, stop by youtube.com/CFRN/live. Bookmark that page, and if there's ever a problem with the go-to software, if it should go down or go out, you'll have a place to go. Just go to that bookmarked page, because we do provide a dual stream, a redundant stream on YouTube. Now, if you take the live off the end, just youtube.com/CFRN, that's where you'll find tens of thousands of hours of podcasts, oh my goodness, webinars, seminars, Q&A sessions, training. Oh, it's a lot. You know, this is a fact. We have the largest collection of Emini training materials available for free on the internet. It's true. We have more free training material available for Emini Futures traders than any one other organization on the internet. And that $9 will get me a cup of coffee at Starbucks. Let's take a look at a little bit of news. Oh, I was going to tell you about this now that you can all see the screen. We had a Logic 247 alert to consider selling the NQ at 75.85. We had an initial target at 75.75. We had a final, that should say FT, as in final target. But a final target at 75.60. So from the entry to the final target, that's 25 points at $20 per point, equals $500 per contract traded. Now, the reason that's per contract traded as opposed to per contract available is because you have your entry and your target. So if you traded it exactly as the alert came out, 585 to 560, then you earned $500 per contract traded, minus a tick here or there for slippage in, slippage out, whatever the case might be. Now, as we talk about almost daily, price did not respect the final target. It flew right through it. It did. So even though this is a target, I've actually I'm developing a way of presenting this that's going to make really good sense, especially to all of you who were in 4-H back in the day. Is that still a thing, 4-H? I don't know. But anyway, you see, when I give you, consider selling 75.85 to 75.75 to 75.60. Okay. That's what I call a starter trade. If you've ever grown any vegetables, you might know that you can go into the garden department at a Home Depot or a Lowe's, and you can buy, as an example, what are called starter tomatoes. Well, what's that? I've heard of beefsteak, I've heard of ruby red, I've heard of big girl. What's this starter tomato you speak of? Have you ever seen a tomato seed? Of course you have, when you eat tomatoes. It's a very tiny seed, and it takes a lot of loving kindness, proper soil, sunlight, hydration. There's a lot going on when that seed germinates, and it is coaxed to life by the hands of an agricultural professional, while Joni Mitchell plays softly in the background, right? Preferably the album Blue. Now, when that tender young plant reaches a certain age, a person like you or I could walk into that garden department at, even Walmart, Lowe's, Home Depot, and they will hand over to us a healthy starter tomato plant. Now basically, from this point, I mean, the heavy lifting's been done. The seed was put in the ground, watered, a certain amount of light, prayer, candles, incense, you name it. All the heavy lifting's been done. Basically, you take this starter tomato home, and the instructions says, when you open the little thing, it says, don't kill it. See, that's all you got to do, is just don't kill it. And by don't kill it, I mean just let it do what it necessarily needs to do based on current market conditions. The starter trade from here to here, as we discussed, $500 per contract traded. Now, once we passed through that final target, the market went on to make an additional 40 points, or $800 per contract available. So if you take the starter trade, 500 per contract, and the trail, 800 per contract, that gives you $1,300 per contract available, and still no exit signal. Now I did this calculation and put this here when price was around here. Since then, I'm gonna say, well, if we go 75.85 down to 75.05, well, that would be 80 points at $20 a point. That would be $1,600 per contract available. So I've got it pegged at 15. That's good enough for now. So as a Logic 247 trader, as a passport holder, you have the option to exit here, yeah, or wait until the chart. See, we can get our information from a guru, we can get it from talking heads on TV, on radio, on the internet, or we can let the chart tell us. I've tried them all, and I really like letting the chart tell me. I feel like I've come home. I'm serious. It feels right. And together, you and I are about to see the lowest weekly trading zone for the NASDAQ, for the NQ, for this week. Our lowest weekly trading zone is 74.98/99. 74.98. So this business about trailing the stop, okay? Everybody's always wanting to know, well, how do you do it? And they're, you know, different people have different ways, different methods. I think what we've put together here is, boy, it's about as simple as it gets, which is good, because that's our hallmark, that's our calling card, if you will, is elegant simplicity. That is how we roll. It is. And we invite you to come and roll with us if you want to. Just pick up your passport at the front office, and I'll see you in the Partners Workshop tonight. I had a little bit of news. Somebody reaching out to me over the Telegram. Oh, here. I have someone right now. Do you see how you heard that noise? And it's one of my guys, one of my traders. Tune in to the radio right now, so I can help you. Now, if I had a more modern phone, or if I was using my computer, and I do that sometimes, I just send a voice message out on the channel. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Globex. Stuff like that, you know. Got to keep the mood light, otherwise, here it comes. All right, let's do that little bit of news, and then we'll get on with this. This is pretty interesting. Venezuela's president, Nicolas Maduro, has made several claims regarding his country's digital currency this week. He announced the launch of the petro as a national currency on Monday, reportedly claiming that it is already present in the world's 6 topmost international exchange houses. A new white paper has also been published showing that the petro is no longer 100% backed by oil, but is also backed by some of Venezuela's other resources. Now, El Presidente said back in February on TV, Venezuela makes history. Today we take a step forward with the launch of petro as a national currency and platform for strengthening our financial sovereignty. Telesur TV subsequently quoted him declaring that the petro, unlike other digital currencies, doesn't need to be mined because it already has a value. It is shielded with Venezuelan oil and mining wealth. According to the publication, Maduro was also referring to the country's gold, diamonds, iron, and aluminum. Now, the new white paper, in contrast to the previous white paper, states that the petro is using Dash's X11 mining algorithm for proof of work, as well as staked masternode system for proof of stake verification. The hybrid system will employ 4 megabyte blocks and a 1-minute block interval. A page of the new white paper describing the basic concepts of the technology behind the petro displays illustrations taken directly from the Dash and Bitcoin white papers. LOL, says an Ethereum developer, Venezuela's new petro token is a blatant Dash clone. Furthermore, the petro no longer backed fully by a barrel of oil. Instead, it is now backed by 50% oil, 20% gold, 20% iron, and 10% diamonds. Without naming any exchanges, Maduro claimed that they were already present in the 6 topmost international exchange houses and will now be accepted at a national level. He said all Venezuelans will have access to the petro and through it to make international purchases. Petro coins that are now a legal substitute for dollars in real estate deals, as well as paying for goods such as airline tickets, hotels, and the like. Venezuelan officials hope that the petro will neutralize the threat of black markets and money mafias across the country. Remember, we talked about this, the people going in, selling the dollars. Yep, you heard it here. The foreign minister was quoted telling reporters that such money mafias are widely blamed for a slump in the value of the Venezuelan bolivar, further exacerbating the nation's economic woes. Now, as you recall, we had a little bit different version of that story, so we'll continue to follow that because it is pretty fascinating. Cryptocurrency, in and of itself, attracts a diverse crowd. You've got your speculators, financiers, your gamblers, your scammers. These groups and their often opposing aims are what make the cryptocurrency such a strange and compelling place, but the crypto economy such a compelling place. I've got stories for you today about Wall Street funded futures, another U.S. platform ending margin trading, and a company that will trade your token to stimulate demand for it, and an obligatory new stable coin. We won't go through all of them. I do want to talk briefly about TD Ameritrade. I did not know they were Nebraska based, but they are. Not everyone's on Wall Street or Main Street. TD Ameritrade is making a move into the cryptocurrency exchange game with a little help from its Wall Street friends. Honestly, I didn't know that was there. The brokerage big shot revealed ERISX on Wednesday, the name for the platform being spearheaded by trading veteran Thomas Chippas. Regulatory approval is being sought to list Bitcoin Core, Bitcoin Cash, Ether, and Litecoin futures. Chippas left his job at Citigroup to head up the project, a trend that's been observed repeatedly in the cryptocurrency space, with traditional financiers being lured into the realm of crypto by the promise of a fresh challenge and a big payday. Having closed the fundraising round backed by DRW and Virtue Financial, in addition to TD Ameritrade, the venture has attracted attention, fueled by its intention to position itself as a direct rival to BAKKT, B-A-K-K-T, the forthcoming cryptocurrency platform from the New York Stock Exchange's parent company. It should be noted, however, that the new exchange is in fact a revamp of the Eris exchange, a derivatives platform that has failed to achieve anything of note in its 8 years of operation. Now, while one U.S. exchange is dreaming of derivatives, another is shunning them. The Circle-backed Poloniex exchange has revealed it is removing margin and lending products for its U.S. customers. These changes are part of our ongoing commitment to ensure that Poloniex complies with regulatory requirements in every jurisdiction. In the same announcement, it was revealed that 3 assets will be delisted from Poloniex on October 10th, and perhaps surprisingly, AMP, EXP, and GNO, Gnosis. Michael, are you there?
Yes, I am here.
John just jingled my phone. I had asked him to come about 22. So, you want to dive in and do your recap?
Okay.
Look at that, folks. We just dropped through the lowest weekly trading zone on the NQ. Now, trailing this, we've already got down to 74.90. So 95. Basically, we have about a $2,000 per contract trade on our hands. Okay, and it began as a starter trade. This low $500 per contract starter trade. And when you took it home, all you had to do was promise not to kill it. And now it's grown into a monster $2,000 per contract available trade. That's pretty sweet, huh, Michael?
That is sweet.
Sweet.
Indeed, that is sweet.
Yeah, and you know, guys, all these complicated things and ways of trailing stops, I think we got something going on here. with our elegant simplicity. So you stay tuned. I'll be right back after Michael. John is here and we'll both be on. If you have any questions, just put them in the chat box. It's all yours, buddy.
All right. John is not here yet. But, okay, here we go. Good afternoon, everyone. Today is Thursday, the 4th day of October 2018. If you have not taken a free trial with us, go to the homepage here at CFRN.net. Right over here on the right side, it says apply.cfrn.net. If you click on that, you'll be brought to this page where all we ask for is your email, your first name, and how you found us. Hit the submit button, and you'll be sent a confirmation link. Once you click on that confirmation link, then we know that you took the free trial. Okay? All right. The spreadsheet. If you're going to read the spreadsheet, you got to read all the CFTC risk disclosures down at the bottom. Today, as I said, is the 4th day of October 2018. We lost 2 ticks in the euro. We made 6 ticks in crude. We made 5 ticks in gold, and we made 4 ticks on the ES. That put us at plus 147.50 on the morning. And today it took 88 minutes and 14 opportunities to get to the goal for the day. I know that's a long time in a lot of trades, but we stopped out the first couple of trades and then there was just very little follow through until it got toward the end. Anyway, at that point we're up 122.50 and we took a total of 15 opportunities. Okay, so on the month now we're at 768. That's over 4 days, averaging 192 per day. And on the year, we are at 26,168. That is over 183 days, averaging 143 per day. And that is 1 contract, 2 hours per day. Okay. Now I'll get into what we did do here. All right, on the gold, we started out right here on gold, and we got 1 tick profit right there. Then it turned around and it started coming down. It looks like I missed an opportunity right here. Now that we didn't have any divergence there, I remember that now. Then we got short again. Actually, this was a break even. The last one where we got short again, I think, was not in there. Not in there. Where the heck was it? I don't know where it was. It might have been, oh, it might have been gotten long right in here. And we picked up 4 ticks. Okay, I didn't mark it. It might have been there, I'm not sure. I think it was a short, but we picked up 4 more ticks to put us at plus 5 on the gold on the morning session. Okay, and since then, gold has given 1 shorting opportunity right there. Another one right there. And it's pulling back, setting up another one. During the break, yeah, there was another one right there as well. Okay, so gold had some opportunity in this leg down here during the break. The euro. Yeah, let's see. We started out here on the euro picking up 2 ticks right here. Then we stopped out pretty much to the tick and it went up and did what it should have done. That put us at -6. We missed a trade there. We had a break even there and we grabbed 4 here. That put us at -2. Okay, and that was all we did in the room this morning in the euro. During the break, the slingshot was all messed up. There wasn't anything we could do in there. Okay. Let's see. Next was crude oil. Wow. Crude had some nice movement during the break. All right, we started out here on crude. Right? Yeah. We started out right here on crude and we picked up 1 tick profit there. Then we stopped out here to put us at -7. Then we slowly worked our way back. We got 2 there to put us at -5. We got 3 there to put us at -2. We got 2 there to put us back to break even. Then right here we picked up 6 ticks. And looks like, I think we were going into the low of the day or something here. There was some reason why I didn't take anything in here. I don't know. But there was a shorting opportunity right here that I had missed. another one right here that I missed. I don't know why this is looking a lot different now. But it looked like we had no divergence at all earlier. And anyway, it's going down into dynamic support, so there's nothing you can do there anyway. During the break, there was a shorting opportunity right here. And another one right there. And another one right there. And then slingshot sort of got messed up. There was one right there. Changed directions. There was a long opportunity there. Changed directions again, but it wasn't trending. And that was it. Okay, that was crude oil today. We ended with +6 on crude. The ES, we had just a couple of trade opportunities. This one right here, where we picked up 2 ticks. And this one over here, where we picked up another 2 ticks. So we're at +4. Let's see, during the break, there was really nothing during the break. It did go zone to zone here during the break. The dog's making noise. And that was it for the morning session. Okay, so with that, let me go back here. Okay, we'll go through this one more time. Today, as I said, is the 4th day of October, 2018. We lost 2 ticks in the euro, made 6 ticks in crude, 5 ticks in gold, and 4 ticks on the ES. Put us at +147.50 on the morning. Took 88 minutes and 14 trades to get to the goal for the day. At that point, we're at 122.5. We took a total of 15 opportunities this morning. So, on the month, $768. That's over 4 days, averaging 192 per day. On the year, 26,168. That's over 183 days, averaging 143 per day. 143 per day. Okay. Alright. To take the free trial, go to the home page at CFRN.net. Right over here in the right-hand column, it says 5-day free trial. Apply.cfrn.net. When you click on that, you'll be brought to this page where we ask for your email, your first name, and how you found us. Once you give us that information, hit the submit button and you'll be sent a confirmation link. Make sure that the email is valid because it's going to send it to whatever you type in there. So if there's an invalid email in there, you'll never get a trial because we'll never know you took it. Okay. All right. And that is it for the recap of today's morning session. I can now pass it back out. Fabulous Phoenix, Arizona, Studio A, overlooking South Mountain, America's largest city park.
Well, I'm here.
If you are ready.
Yeah.
John's not out there right now.
He said he would be. So.
Okay. I'll keep an eye out for him.
I'm sure he'll be popping in just a second. You know what dawned on me earlier? You probably don't. I'm just guessing. Look at that! Look at what that rascal did right on the lowest weekly trading zone for the NQ. He's doing the bunny hop. Can you see it?
Oh, yep, I see it. I see it.
Lowest weekly trading zone, folks. First brought to you December 14th of 2009. It was a Thursday. A blustery day for Phoenix, Arizona. No, I'm kidding. It was hot as the dickens, and it was a Friday. No, it was a Monday. Now, this information right here, whereby a passport holder received information via the super secure Telegram application that we utilize and the performance of our duties, had they entered the market here. And, well, you know, kind of took the ride past 1,300, 1,500, 1,600. Guess how much it would have cost them to have that information? Now I'm talking per trading day. No. Now let's do it like Starbucks. Let's do it like the other guys. So there's 30 days in some months. Okay, so we'll use the 30-day month as opposed to the 20-day month. Now, when you think about it, you got 5 days in a week. Bless you. Bless you. Someone's having a hay fever attack. Bless you. You know, by about the 6th sneeze, you start to get a little ticked off at them, don't you? You know, you
Yes.
just, oh, you do God bless you, 2, 3, 4 times, but about the 6th one, it's like, whoa, really? You know, get a grip. But now, using, yeah, I mean, think about it. So, guys, if somebody's ever quoting you something, it has to do with trading, you know, and they're telling you how it costs a cup, the same as a cup of coffee a day or something. Well, are they talking about the 30-day month? Are they talking about the 20-day trading month? Now you're going, but wait a minute, a weekend's only 2 days. There's 4 weeks to a month. That's 8. Where did those 2 days? I told you. See, time flies, and then people steal it. Okay. Back to you, caller. No, here's what it works out to. You want to know?
Sure.
It's a little over $30 a day. So an individual, now if you want to be legitimate and go with the trading month, which is carry the 1, 5, yeah, okay, we're talking about $49.85 per day. Now, that's not chicken feed, because my wife and I, we lived on a 3.5-acre urban farm at one point in our life together, and we had chickens. Not only did we have chickens, we had goats, we had a lot of other things, we had peacocks, but we had prize winning chickens. In fact, so much so, I mean, this guy walked right off the Kellogg's cornflake box. I had George, that was his name, and then his wife Martha, the hen. But anyway, we had a bunch of them, but this one, he took first place at the Arizona State Fair. Now, we were pretty young at the time, and there were a lot of, and I mean this with all due respect, old codgers there, in their bib overalls, in their work boots, you know, toeing the sand, spitting every now and then. They were upset, Michael.
They were.
Yeah, because we had the prize-winning chicken. They've been working at this all their life. I mean, they got these genetically modified chicken. I mean, you know, they've been working this thing. We just had, it was dumb luck, you know. Some lady had to put in the paper or on Craigslist or something that, oh, we didn't have Craigslist back then. Somehow we found a lady with a bunch of baby chicks, and we got one, and they grew up to be George and Martha. Or no, that would be illegal in some states. That's where we got George, and we got Martha somewhere else. But anyway, this is a true story. I mean, it was kind of like after we got our blue ribbon and, you know, we didn't do any acceptance speech, we kind of just hightailed it out the back door with the big cage and got in the car. They probably wouldn't have really chased us in their pickup trucks, but it was kind of exciting to think that they would, because we stole the show. Anyway, so when I say that's not chicken feed, I said all that to say this. I know what chicken feed is. See? So when unlike some people, when I say, and that ain't chicken feed, I know. You with me?
I'm with you.
$49.85 a day, a trading day. You're not going to pay, you don't have to pay anything on the weekends like those other people. No, we just charge them Monday through Friday. But now, if you could stumble into something half as sweet as this every day for $49.85, I don't know about you, but I'd probably order 2. It's like when I go to Walmart and find a shirt I really like, I get 2 of them, because I figure one of them, the first, one's going to wear out. So there's 2 ways to go. Tell me how you do it. Now, would you just wear one shirt until it wears out, or would you trade off with the 2 identical shirts so that you double the lifespan of both shirts? How would you work that?
I usually get 2 shirts as well.
No, the right answer is I don't buy my shirts at Walmart, fool. No, I do, though. I didn't used to.
I'm wearing one that I bought there right
At
now.
least I wouldn't admit it, but man, they're convenient, affordable. They'll even bring it to your house like Amazon now. I mean, they got their big boy pants on. I mean, I have groundwater coming into my basement due to the rain in my area. Can we please do this tomorrow? Is the same link for tomorrow, brother? Yes, same thing, David. You joined the channel. Okay, so we have a situation, Michael. You see, Mr. David V's comments.
Yes.
He emailed me a screenshot, or emailed us a screenshot yesterday of, I think, the beta test or something. Anyway, and his email said, I signed up for the Logic 247 blah blah blah. He goes, like, is this all there is to it? And I go, well, no, actually, there's a live alert channel with alerts coming, down the pike, 24/7 practically. And he's like, oh, so how did we? Because I don't want to. How did he not get the link? He's been floundering all this time. He didn't want to say anything. I don't want to be a complainer, but there's been nothing published in, like, I don't know, 3 weeks or something. And I said, no, trust me, I'm hitting it hard every day. So he's now dealing with his water issue, and then I'm going to spend some time with him tomorrow in a mentoring session. So anyone out there who you became a Logic 247 lifetime member, or you took the annual service, or you're a passport holder, if you don't know where to go, what to do, what's happening, I kind of thought, because of the beta test and the way people just sort of flowed in, but now I can see how someone might, if they don't tune into the radio every day, and if they don't come to the partner workshops, and they don't hang out in the training room every day because they have a job. And that's the other thing about the passport, because it includes the Logic 247 as well as the Concierge Trade Alerts. It really does allow those people who have full-time day jobs that it's not time to let go of yet, but because you know what you're going to trade and how you're going to trade it ahead of time, if you can just, when an alert goes off, if you can just capture even a few minutes to go to your desk, and worst case your phone, and pull up an app and look at the chart, and then make a determination whether or not this is an opportunity that you want to participate in. Because I always tell people, I send it out in the channel periodically, never feel obligated to take a trade just because an alert comes through the channel, and so guys, that the rules-based trading, and we do hammer this home in the rules-based trading and training in the mornings in the live training room, is that as they come down, you don't know enough initially to be selective. As time passes and you get that rules-based trading, you got that nailed cold, do it in your sleep. As you begin to broaden your horizons, then you might have enough experience to be discretionary and to evaluate a trade setup and say, well, this one I know gives me a higher probability than this one because, and then you fill in the blank with whatever your story is, and then you take the one that's appropriate for you. So, people asked us for years for something that they could utilize while maintaining the day job, something that they could literally set it and forget it. Now, with this NQ trade, okay, going from the entry to the second target, that's no problem, because you're going to sell on a stop, and then you're going to have a hard target there at 75.60, and it's when you come back and look at it again, you're in tall cotton. how you're going to handle trailing that stop until the exit signal is produced. I'm not sure about that, but Michael will probably start writing some code later today to address it, or not. Python is the new exciting language. I studied a little bit about it last night, and it's almost like writing a story. I mean, you say John's here?
Yeah, I opened up his mic.
All right, John, if you're there, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thanks very much. Sorry I missed you the last couple of days.
Well, we missed you too. Yep, I'm just glad you're okay. Glad you're with us.
Thank you. I'll just tell you what I wrote 2 days ago. At just around 2 o'clock in the afternoon, right before the market started to sell off. I said the highs may be in for this market starting yesterday. Remember I talked about it on the show? I said that October the 1st might end up being the high of the month. And we had a little bit of a retest on the 2nd. We made a nominal new high on the Dow, which was quickly which more or less in, you know, when I put that tweet out, was just starting to come off the highs on the Tuesday. And I said starting yesterday, i.e. Monday, Tuesday, into Tuesday, down, and I said basically sell everything. And I said, you know, the only thing I'd probably want to hold is the gold. And I also said almost all the conditions are in place for a possible interim top, and that was about the high on Tuesday. Just right, that was right before we started selling off. And the speed of this decline today, you know, the market is pretty dangerous. Obviously, you know, with the jobs report coming out tomorrow, you just don't know whether the jobs report is going to be enough to nip this decline in the bud and go back to the normal behavior, you know, a bit of a shakeout, and then we, you know, have another shot at going to the highs. I wouldn't rule that out. But if the market sort of ignores the jobs report, no matter how good or bad it is, and it could, and obviously, you know, that the bonds hit new lows this morning, went down to 137. I mean, look, if the jobs number comes in higher than expected and maybe has some inflationary components to it, you know, the bonds could go limit down. And I don't think this market right now can withstand a limit down move on the bonds.
Do you remember the last time bonds had a limit move?
I can, yeah.
Like, I don't.
It was,
yeah.
It was, I think it was a couple of years. It was during this 2015-16 period, really, I think.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, there was one. It's been pretty fleeting. There was only one that happened, and it was short-lived. It didn't really follow through. Remember, before we got down to, we broke the 140 before, but we're making new 7-year lows right now in the bonds. So this is a pretty big deal. And the one thing that is a little bit different about this era, if you like, compared to everything else, is that because we're coming off such a low base, you know, all these housing mortgages and everything, you know, the effectively interest rates have risen by, you know, maybe 100, 200, 300%. It's a pretty big change, you know what I mean? A rate of change of interest rates relative to where we've come from, i.e. being 1/4%. As you know, if we go from 1/4% to you know, 2% or 3%, that's a pretty significant, you know, rate of change. And that can disrupt, you know, when you're so used to the rates being so low. And this kind of reminds me, maybe this is what Ray Dalio is talking about when he's so worried about the rates going up right now and the Fed killing this recovery, because this is what happened in 1937. You know, and remember, we came off the 32 bottom. We had a 5-fold increase in the market. The Fed probably thought they were invincible and started raising rates, and then, Next thing you know, you were down for 5 years to 1942. Listen, there were a lot more reasons why that happened, including World War II and everything. So it's hard to compare today with then. But certainly the 1937 symptoms are kind of similar today. We're just in a longer recovery. We're in a longer recovery with less of a gain, if you like. We're not up 500%, but the elements are similar. So the VIXs, which we've been buying, we actually did pretty well. We caught almost the highs of this market, and we caught almost the lows on the VIXs. And I did call a few people and get them on. But the most people sort of, the VIXs have been so long to turn. People didn't think this was going to happen, but it is happening. And we've had a bit of a rebound in the Nasdaq, and it's already coming off again. We're sort of heading for the lows again. So I think the odds of this market, I mean, look, we haven't been down 170 on the Nasdaq for a long time. We did warn people that if Amazon broke back below 2,000, which it has, and breaks this big uptrend line, I mean, it's almost like putting Jeff Bezos on the front cover of Forbes for the first time in 2 decades. 24 years he's beaten Bill Gates, not just by a few billion, but by 50%, 60, more than that, 60% almost higher than Bill Gates. It's pretty extraordinary, and that in of itself tells you how much Amazon's gone up. Since the beginning of the year, it's just been nothing short of stratospheric, and it's probably the most vulnerable. And then to come out with this wage increase, which is a good thing.
Oh, yeah, but he killed the bonuses and the share.
Yeah, I mean, some people are saying, that he's some gains and some losses, so it's not necessarily. Well,
I think he's being a cheapskate at this point.
Yeah, the perception that, the perception is that, where Amazon's costs are going to go way up because of this is not helping the stock today, for sure. And there's a bit of a nail in the coffin on the stock, at least for the time being. And some of these other things, Facebook's issues, and Google now is coming off. I mean, all the FANGs are making new lows today, and I've been warning about this. The drug sector is in dire straits. I mean, we've broken down very badly in the drug sector. And in fact, we put a sellout on Intercept at about 128 a couple of days, 3 or 4 days ago, and then it's down to 112. I mean, it's getting absolutely massacred. And CMG is another one that's had a big break from the highs. Adobe, if you look at the charts of Adobe and Amazon, and you see a double top on these things. I mean, it's taken a long time to get to this point, but it really does look like the highs are in for quite a while, for quite a while now. And we may be, look, we're yesterday, Wednesday.
What was the symbol you just mentioned?
We had a bit of a rally yesterday. Sorry, Adobe, ADBE. we had a bit of a rally yesterday, and so that sort of, kind of prevented, it was a bit of a rebound from my sell on Tuesday, but it wasn't enough to reverse the trend. And now we're really tanking, and this has got to be scaring people, starting to scare people. And
well,
so,
all right.
So we're, here today, we're Thursday. See the double top there is similar on Amazon, and it's not a trend line break.
I also see this, which, should, in fact, I should have, what do we get? Yeah, we can't curve fit the data that much, so I'll just put it right there. But
I mean, honestly, Dwayne, remember my major call? I put this out at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. Last time I put out a 2 p.m. call was March 24th, 2000. And that was the last time the Nasdaq was over 5,000 before it plunged to about 800. And that was obviously my greatest call ever, because I said the Nasdaq would go down by 750 points the following week, and it actually went down about 1,000 points. So you know, this is a similar situation where I definitely got a sense of deja vu here.
Look at
last
that.
couple of
Look
days.
at that, John. And this, I'd put that on a 30-minute chart. Same trend line. But
Yeah.
What day was this? What was going on here? 24th of September. 2018. Is that Fed Day? We're looking at Adobe. I don't know. I don't see
Yes, Fed Day is 25th, 25th, I think.
This was the 24th of September. Yeah. I don't. Anyway, whatever it was. It like they may
If you can put up Amazon, maybe you'll get a. I think Amazon's uptrend line is already broken. Amazon. Okay, this was on the 24th also. Yeah, there was a. Remember, there was a dip before the Fed, before the day before the Fed.
Okay,
And taking out that dip is really that will be the first dip that's been
if
exceeded.
this dip gets taken out, then yeah, there's probably. But my goodness, when you really do look at the big picture.
Yeah, by the way, you see that gap up on the first, remember I said the 1st of October, the highs are in. Look at it. Gapped higher on the 1st of October and sold off almost immediately. That's a really bad sign when that happens. and that was inconsistent with almost every other gap up, you know, this year. Almost every gap has gone higher, you know.
Yeah, where's my futures? There it is. S&P Emini Futures, current contract. Okay, this is the continuous. I'm going to put this on monthly.
Yeah, if you could show us then the Amazon on a daily or first.
Sure. Yeah, well, okay. Here's one thing I just wanted to point out on the S&P 500 on a monthly chart. If we had a 50% retracement, if we pulled back to this high right here, people would, you know, think the world had ended, as they did some years ago during our Great Recession. But it wouldn't be nothing but a triumph. I mean, how are we not long this entire move? If I did this on our other charting platform, we've not had a bearish cross since 2013 on the monthly. Okay, so you wanted Amazon on a daily, did you say?
Yeah.
Amazon daily. Here we go. Okay. Got enough data? You want more data? Amazon daily.
Squeeze it up a bit more if you can. Yeah.
I forget that there's a lag, so let me just let it sit for a minute. More?
Yeah, that trend line looks in real trouble here. Look at the double top there. Actually, it's a...
Yeah, well, there's the old saying, if it looks like an M, trade it like an M. And then the other one is like, you know, if it looks like a W, trade it like a W. I got to say that... I guess that looks more like an M than it does a W, because of that last leg down. So when this gets taken out, that spike that we were looking at on the smaller time frame, that was on a 30-minute chart, was where we really saw that spike. Yeah. So what do you think the worst thing is on the downside? I mean, if it got
the worst.
I mean, we don't have a housing crisis. We don't have any.
1100.
1100.
I think yeah, but it could, I think this time might go down to about 17.5, 1750, somewhere like that.
And then at some later point in time, go to 1100.
Well, not necessarily just yet, but that gap down there, that big gap from 1,000 to 1,100 was a very big deal, and you know, as you said, important prices tend to get retested in time, and you know, it might take a year or two, but or three, but at some point it could happen. So it's a now the gold's not acting so great, but that could change. Usually if things start to get out of control, we're only down $1 right now on the gold, but if things start to get a bit hectic here.
Were you listening earlier when we were talking about Venezuela?
No.
You know, they came out with that crypto currency, the petro, which was going to be
backed
by oil. Yeah. Well, they've changed the structure. It's now backed 50% by oil, iron, diamonds, and I think something else. But the president, a day or two ago, declared it as the new national currency.
Yeah, good luck to him. You know, we'll see what happens.
Well,
but,
they say you can go into stores and the boulevard. It is so absolutely worthless that people are using it to make crafts, and they weave it into hats and handbags and all this other kind of thing.
Yeah. Wallpaper, that's what they used it for before, you know. It's in the old days. They used it to light fires in Germany, in the Weimar Republic, you know. Literally, they used it to keep warm. Can you believe it?
Yeah, well, yeah. I mean, it's history. Question in the chat box from Daniel. Do you guys know anything or anyone possibly becoming competition for Amazon?
Well, you know, I was just thinking of that when we talked about it going down to 1,100. You can never know what's coming, you know, and these larger stores like Walmart and
anyone who appears to be a threat in any field, not all fields, but just any field, gets bought out.
Yeah, you get Walmart, Target, you know, Alibaba. They're all potential threats to. Have you heard all this stuff that happened out of China today? With you know, remember I said when stocks get cut in half, there's a semiconductor stock. I think it's called something micro. They got literally cut in half today because apparently the Chinese, nobody ever thought they'd do this, but they actually put chips in these boards to eavesdrop on people, you know. I mean, it's just off the charts. You can't make
now,
this.
Are these on consumer products or?
Yeah, stuff that's being sold.
Corporate espionage?
You know, it could be a very widespread problem. You know, could affect.
Well, I mean, imagine you send as a as a gift to some other businessman, a competitor, a gift, a token of our appreciation for blah blah, and it's a nice big beautiful flat screen to go, you know, obviously it's for the conference room, right? So now you can sit in your office with your little headphones on and your little ham radio and you can listen to every word they say behind every closed door meeting. I mean, it's never been so easy to get a bug, you know, into someone's home or office, but yeah. And I mean, why stop at a listening device when you can have, you know, a camera no bigger than tip of a ballpoint pen, HD, and because it's plugged in, you don't ever have to worry about it dying on you, running out of juice. So now, do you see that as a problem for businesses, or do you think
it could
this
be?
Is something
It could
that
be. They're only just getting. This could be really widespread. You know, there's been so much stuff coming out of China, and that this could really be a big deal. So
what do you? Okay, if why would number one? I don't think they want to listen in on everybody. So I don't know. I mean, because trust me, there's nothing said in my household that the Chinese would want to hear. I mean, you know.
Well, I think this might have been sold to. This might have found its way into some sort of defense department. You know.
Well, I can see where
like
every unit that goes out the door has this thing built into it. You know, on the circuit board or wherever it's proper for it, and then. When you find out Admiral so-and-so has your brand of TV, the Hisense, well, you get his address and you find his unit and you activate that thing and start recording. I mean, that's seems pretty simple. I'm sure there's a couple lines of code involved, but yeah, I think let's see, way back in 2007. On this radio program, I talked about some video recorders coming out of China that were rumored to have cameras and listening devices built into them. And my previous co-host tried to laugh me off the stage, which he couldn't do because it's my stage, but he was like a dog with a bone. He wouldn't let it go. He kept bringing it up. It was like some running joke that was only funny to him. About, oh, you conspiracy nuts. Do you know how many people would have to be involved to pull off something on that grand a scale? Well, they did it. And who do you know in China? I mean, so you got 10,000 Chinese workers. They're not going to tell me anything. Oh, they'll leak it to the press. You know, that argument, that dog wouldn't hunt. He laughed at it then, but now I guess he's going around, boy. Well, at least Dwayne was right about one thing over 9 years. So, anyway, where do we go from here, John? What do you want to talk about? What do you want to look at?
Well,
so Daniel, anyone could be a competitor. Like Walmart bought that Jet, and Amazon, they buy companies left and right. So I think anyone they perceive as a threat, they'll try to take out. That's just my thought. I think they're too big to fail at this point. And I'm not talking about government intervention. I'm just talking about they got more money than anybody in the world. The company does, he does. That's a pretty, that's a tough nut to crack. So we'll see. Why do you ask, Daniel? Were you looking for an alternative type investment? You know, you were trying to hedge something maybe with an upstart? Is that the reason for the question? Maybe we can give you an answer along those lines. Now, what was your comment on gold you just made?
Oh, that it was, you know, it's holding up a bit. It's down $1.50 right now. It's trying to turn here, but you know, if things get very frantic here with the market, you know. But what I meant to say is, you know, this is a Thursday. We're down 300 points on the Dow. You know, if we're down again tomorrow, it's a big reversal week, and then we've got to get through Monday and Tuesday. So there's a potential for a sort of a mini 87 to develop here in the next few days.
Now those are serious words.
Yeah.
Now, when you say a mini 87,
well, it could be a big one. You never know. But I mean, we like to think it's going to be a light version, but nothing's. You know, you never know what's around the corner. That could come to bear. The market's very, very extended, and you know, we're right on these trend lines, and they start getting broken. And if there's a sort of a panic, and everybody tries to head for the exit at the same time, you know, it could have a very dramatic effect on things. So I think you're right. Right now, the VIXs look like pretty good insurance against something like that happening. You know, we've definitely turned up on the VIXs, and you know, I wouldn't say we're on a total upward glide path just yet, but something similar to this happened in January, back in January, and in a way we've sort of spent, we didn't make a lower low on the VIXs when everything made a higher high. That's pretty significant. And the upside from here could be crazy. I mean, if we've be like going from 26 to the previous highs were about 65 after hours. We could go there. We could go possibly all the way to 90 or 100 if this turns into something really bad. So.
Well, I'll tell you, the range that we've had on this week has been welcomed, extraordinary, if nothing else, because we were up near our highest weekly trading zone earlier in the week. Today's Thursday, and
by the way, there's several non-confirmations that are worth mentioning. The transports did not make a higher high. Last month was when they made the record highs, but they were not able to make a new high this month or this week. That is very bad. Didn't confirm the Dow theory, reversed it effectively, and now the Dow is going down pretty sharply after hitting all-time highs. It's got a pretty strong sell signal. The semiconductors also didn't make a new high. I mean, if you want a comparison, this is exactly the same setup as what happened at the, going into 2000, from 1999 to 2000. This is when you got the non-confirmations. The mid-cap also did not make a new high, the mid-cap. So, that's another one. Mid-cap looks terrible too. In fact, mid-cap looks like putting in a big Head and Shoulders top. So it is really a very troubling, and remember what I said. I've said it on this show a dozen times. When the Dow is the last man standing, and it was yesterday and Tuesday. And Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, it's been the last man standing the last 3 days. It's, in other words, it was the only thing that went to a new high, nothing else. To the exclusion of everything else, it's time to head for the hills. And so now it's happening. And it's amazing how quickly things can turn, because all these old timers on Wall Street, this is the sort of thing they look for at the top. So they control the money, they control the big funds, and people like Bob Dole, they might go and pontificate all these times they go on the air and how wonderful they are, but when they start seeing stuff like this and they're managing $1 trillion or more, they got to start lightening up. And there's look, Tesla's another one. Tesla, got skirted past this SEC thing. He was pretty lucky because he's got almost as good a deal, making the deal with the SEC that he might have got a slightly better deal. Maybe he would have only been fined 20 million instead of 40. So they did have to pay a little bit more, but he got off pretty lightly. But unfortunately for Tesla, the price is breaking down rather sharply. It's down another $16 today. And we said a couple of days ago, I said it on Twitter, there are some pictures of Tesla cars in the parking lots that are unsold. And it's very possible to, they may be making cars, even though they got production up to record levels, that they may be running out of customers, So it would be pretty incredible if Tesla got to a point where it's suddenly producing a whole bunch of cars, at the cost of whatever it costs a day or a week. I think $1 billion a week or something. It's costing them some crazy number, or maybe definitely $1 billion a month. And they don't have any buyers, that could, because there's a limited number of people who are going to buy electric cars anyway. So
yeah, and all the celebrities in LA, they've already got one, and they don't drive it much anymore. So yeah, I don't know. You've got your diehards, you know, who really believe in them for the right reasons, I guess, other than just being the cool kid on the block. So I don't know. We'll see where they go. I know we're not done with our gas guzzlers quite yet. It's pretty hard to build a monster.
Yeah, actually, the oil is coming off the highs too, pretty sharply today. It kind of held up for a few days. Even they had a huge inventory build and 7 or 8 million barrels, and you know, the price went up, believe it or not. How does that happen? But it does happen from time to time, and here you go, happening again.
You know, Daniel, I'm just reading your comment there. Daniel had asked about whether we knew of anyone that was attempting to compete with Amazon in that space. He said, his comment was, I just figured other people would try and enter such a big market, but on a small scale. Supposedly Amazon does 290 million a day. Here's the thing, Daniel. Anyone that wants to compete with Amazon would be better served to cooperate with Amazon, because on the Amazon platform they have the opportunity to get more exposure than they would ever get on their own as a startup. I mean, they would have to reach some pretty incredible scale before any analyst would peer over their glasses and even look at them when compared to Amazon. So I think they've gotten so big so fast that I don't know that anybody can come from behind and take them over or take them down, or even in fact, I often wonder how Walmart and Target do you think Walmart is a profitable and healthy business right now? Do you think it can continue to stand up to Bezos?
Well, you know, one of the problems, I mean, Walmart is actually practically unchanged today, so that tells you something. It's off its highs, and actually it looks a little bit toppy, but you know, if it were to break down from here, it could sell off. But you know, the retailers are starting to come off their highs. Even Lulu, which has been incredible, is finally starting to break down. So you know, Tiffany, that's making, you know, that's breaking down today. I mean, most of these high flyers are really, there's hardly any, I'd say there's hardly any stocks making new highs today. Very, very few. So.
Okay. All right, John.
Okay, well, so thanks for the invite.
Yeah,
and
the thing you and I were talking about a moment ago on the phone before the show, I would like to speak with you this afternoon if you have some time.
Yeah, I just thought of somebody else who might be even better, so I'll look into that this afternoon.
Okay.
For you.
All right. Yeah.
Okay.
We'll talk.
Thanks.
All right. Thanks so much. Okay. Bye-bye. Okay. Now the alert, the lowest weekly zone. I just showed you on the. These are this week's zones on the S&P. Okay. So we can back up to, we're Sunday night. Sunday night zone, didn't quite make that zone. Back to the zone, down to the zone, back up to the zone, and then we consolidated for quite a while, above and below, oscillating above, below, above, and then we made the run 11 points to the zone overhead, and then we drop to this zone, consolidate. Remember, one of three things will always happen: consolidation, rejection, or the slice. Consolidation, continue to the zone, consolidate, and continue to the zone. Oh, let me take care of John's mic for him so that he won't have to worry about any background noise. Hang on, John, I'll get this for you. Anyone who has any questions about anything, feel free to put them in the chat box, and I'll be more than happy to try and answer them. A reminder, tonight, Thursday night, every Thursday night, 9 p.m. Eastern, is our partners workshop, but I guess it's just going to become the workshop, because there'll be partners, there'll be passport holders, so we should have a good meeting tonight. Bring your questions. Now, if you don't have questions, I'll just leave. I'll go watch TV. No, seriously, think about where you're at with your trading. Whatever obstacle you are finding in your day-to-day trading, and it's probably something that repeats itself, let's drag it out on the table, shine the light on it, and get to the bottom of it. Okay, that way you can move on to the next class and the next issue, whatever that might be for you. So, all right, and then we fell from 2944/45. That was the second highest weekly trading zone. Okay, that was the highest. We got to the second highest, and then we rolled, and now we're gunning for the lowest. True story. Yeah, and on the Dow, we still have, there's a zone there at 26675/80, and then there is a zone at 26460/65. 26460. Okay, so now that means that the Dow still has below it 1, 2, 3 more zones. Now that's 3 below this one. Counting this one is 4. Earlier in the week, we hit the highest weekly zone, I do believe, on the Dow, or we came very close. It was 995/7000, and we got up to 966. Oh yeah, we didn't quite touch it, but we sure got up in the neighborhood. Okay, so we would anticipate at this point the Dow is going to drop from 26,517. It's this close. Now, zones are an area. You've heard me say that a lot, and that means it doesn't have to come all the way down and touch the line. We get accustomed to that. We do, and we have to be careful of that. Always reminding ourselves that zones are an area, just like fibs are an area. Fibs paint an exact point on your chart, an exact price to the tick. Weekly zones do that as well, but nonetheless we know that fibs are an area. Fibonacci retracement will often give what we refer to as a 50% retracement, but is it always touching exactly the 50% retracement line to the tick? No, we just accept that it's an area. 24, 38, 50, 62. That's all. So price still heavy and heading down. On this night's, where are they at? There they are. Hiding in plain sight. Last night on the Dow for the Concierge Trade Alerts, so you consider selling 6620. Not the L24, but on the Concierge Trade Alerts, 26620. And we've dropped to 503. 6. So 160 points, $5 a point. You call it. conservative and call it 600 plus. Per contract available. Keep in mind, we never get out at the swing high or swing low. No one does except by accident. That's how it happens. Accident. You don't know it's the high or the low until after the fact. So if you got out there, it was either an accident or luck. So the market has made 600 per contract available so far off of this alert. What you take home after taxes has to do with where your accountant has you on the payroll and where you move your stop to. The Russell, at last, my goodness, I've been waiting for that thing to make me whole for a while. Was it 58 to 55, I believe? I think so. Okay, but on the Concierge Trade Alerts, sell 1658. Yep, sounds familiar. 1658. And the swing low so far, 45. 13. About $700 per contract. That's what we're looking at here. $700 per contract. That's what the market made available. Crude, I'll give you a chance to take a screenshot here in a second if you want to. Oh, I forgot. These went out at 10:20 this morning, but that's where we've seen the move happen. So, fortuitous, perhaps. Crude. So 75.30. Okay. Okay, so from 75.30, 74.50, $800 per contract available. And the Concierge Trade Alerts, they did not go out until 10:20 a.m. Eastern. Had some issues with that over the last week or so, and I am doing my very best to get that straightened out for you. Although it seems to have worked out well on each occasion. Gold, the alert said to consider selling 1201. We're just approaching it. Bonds. Here's this morning, just a lot of sideways, and we were looking at buy 138.16. Haven't seen it. Okay. And the NQ. Still no exit signal. 18. What started out? It was a $500 starter trade, and by just keeping your hand off the mouse, it's gone from 500 to 1800, and at the moment still falling. And somebody's saying, well, you got to take profit at some point. Well, yeah, you do. When it's time for the market to close, you would take profit then, unless you're comfortable holding it open for an hour and your account will handle the additional margin. Yeah, it's possible you could still be in the trade into tonight, into the Globex session. That is the lowest weekly trading zone right there on the NQ. Okay, and that brings us through all of them, and if we have no questions, I'm headed to the good word for the day. We have a partners workshop tonight. I gotta learn to say we have a workshop tonight. You must be a partner or a passport holder to get in. However, think Michael said I gave him my full blessing to cook up a really nice special. So there'll be some added bonuses for those of you who do pick up a passport this afternoon, or decide to become a partner, or just want the Concierge Trade Alerts, or just want the Logic 247. However you want it, you can have it. We're like an Emini buffet. Take all you can eat, but eat all you take. All right? A buffet. Well, I like that. It won't preach, but it'll hunt. So, what do you think about changing your diet? How many times have you heard that? Usually, it's the wife talking to the husband, and then the wife talks to the doctor, then the doctor talks to the husband. Sometimes it can go the other way. But it does tell us in 1 Corinthians 6:20, glorify God in your body. Well, how do you do that? One pastor writes, I stood on every healing scripture in the Bible. Finally, I got so sick that I had to be rushed to the hospital. There they discovered I had 5 arteries completely blocked and scheduled me for bypass surgery. When I came through it, I started questioning, how could this have happened to me? I'm a pastor. I believe God heals. I've prayed for others and watched Him heal them. Then I remembered I'd been warned repeatedly that my cholesterol and sugar levels were too high. I needed to change my diet, but I wouldn't listen. I was addicted to fried foods, fatty foods. They were so tasty I couldn't give them up. Does that resonate with anybody? You know, you want to be at the gym on that treadmill listening to your favorite podcast like you used to, but there's always work to do, or yeah, I've heard it said sitting is the new smoking. Jesus said the children of this world are wiser than the children of light. That's Luke 16:8. The media and the medical establishment are warning us daily to eat more healthy. But the church is often very silent in this area. Tobacco, alcohol, and drugs can kill you, but so can eating unhealthy food. Even if you're a pastor, even if you're a bishop, even if you're the Pope. Garbage in, garbage out. Now, I don't say that judgmentally, you know. I'm talking to myself. I mean, we know. I mean, look at cigarettes. I mean, yes, thank God, by the grace of God, I gave those things up quite a few years ago. But the graphic description, the graphic wording on the side of a package of cigarettes, you know, this will definitely kill you. You know, it was kind of soft-spoken in the many years ago, but now in when we went to Peru, when we were in Ecuador, if you've been to Mexico, and you know that there are a lot of street vendors. In Ecuador there were as well. And one fellow in particular, his little vending business, shop on wheels, was cigarettes. And I saw something on the side of one of the packs, and I'm like, oh, what is that? And so I picked one up and looked at it. And it was an actual picture printed on the package. You know, on ours in America it says Surgeon General has determined smoking can. It's got a picture of a cancerous lung. I'm honest. It's got a cancerous lung on the side of the package of cigarettes, and it says these cigarettes can kill you and make your lung look like this, or some other wording. But I promise you, hand of God, that's what was on that pack. And at that point, I was really glad that I no longer smoked by the grace of God. And so if you happen to be one of those folks that want to stop smoking, you can. I didn't think I could. I mean, it defined who I was. I was the Marlboro man, but yeah, now I'm not. And the same goes for unhealthy eating. Okay. It's difficult. Different people have different metabolisms. Everybody can quit smoking by simply never smoking another cigarette. That's simplified. Again, the Chantix worked for me along with God's grace. You may or may not need the Chantix, but you do need God's grace. And if you want to eat a healthier diet, then asking God's help will get you there sooner than later. Now, the church, we all know about those potlucks and all those pies and cakes and the bake sales and the homecomings and the fried chicken and the mashed potato. Oh, yep, it goes on and on, doesn't it? So the church really doesn't, you know, the preacher, now he may get on you about smoking and drinking and talking rough, but typically he's not going to preach sermons about what you eat. Right? Okay. Paul wrote, "Do you not know that your body is the temple of the Holy Spirit who is in you, whom you have from God, and you are not your own? You were bought with a price. Therefore, glorify God in your body and in your spirit, which are God's." 1 Corinthians 6:19 through 20. You have an assignment from God. You have a responsibility to stay healthy so that you can fulfill the assignment God created you for. He didn't create you just because you look good in those dungarees and those skinny jeans. No, no, no. He created you for a reason and a purpose. Kingdom work. And without your health, you might not get the job done. Your body is the temple in which He dwells, and the instrument He uses. So, as it was written, seek to glorify God in your body each day. My grandmother, still with us, 93. Now, that woman loved to eat. And she loved to cook. And she was a great cook. She was a great eater. She spent most of her life on this diet, that diet, some diet, to the point of, I think she missed some enjoy, you know, she missed some joy, I think, by, I'll never forget, I was very young, and I walked into the kitchen, and the kitchen, this was one of those little tiny 1940s type houses, but this little tiny kitchen with this big table, and she had just sliced open a pink grapefruit, and she was sprinkling sugar on it. And I, what are you doing? What are you doing, Granny? She said, "Son, this is my diet food. You know, y'all gonna have eggs and bacon and toast. Granny fixed you everything you like, but I'm just having my grapefruit. The doctor says I need to lose a few pounds. But Granny, you're putting sugar on the grapefruit." Wait, now I promised him I would eat these grapefruit, but have you ever tasted one? You try to eat it. No thanks, I'm having the eggs and the bacon and the biscuits and all that other stuff you just called off. So But had she not, you know, done what she did, had she not focused on it to some degree, I mean, we see cases of people on TV, and maybe, you know, some of us know someone who has really gone, well, they say half the people in America are obese. I don't know if that's really true, but you may know someone in your life that's truly obese. And I'm not talking about they're so big they got to take the side of the house off to get them out, although that happens. But I'm just talking about, you know, so we should all think about it. And I got to give my wife credit in that our kids have eaten such a clean and pure diet since they've been with us, and they seem content with it. And when we go somewhere, they have no problem ordering up a salad, and in fact they love to go to the salad bar because it's all you can eat, and they're kids. And plus at the salad bar they got fun stuff like tacos and pizza and even ice cream. So think about what you're thinking about, and think about what you're putting in your mouth before you put it in your mouth next time. Daniel echoes the sentiment right there. Food is probably the #1 killer in the U.S. Daniel, I think you could be right. I know that where I grew up, in the Deep South, there were no health food stores. I don't think anybody followed Jack LaLanne or ate wheat germ. I mean, there was a health movement in that time in history, but not in Thompson, Georgia. No. My one grandfather ran a barbecue pit, and the other, after he retired from being sheriff, drove the Frito-Lay truck, which meant he had every kind of chip known to man on that truck and every kind of candy bar. We're talking your Snickers, your Milky Way, your Three Musketeers, your Almond Joys, because, you know, your Peter Paul Mounds, sometimes you feel like a nut, sometimes you don't. Yeah. Boy, now those snacks have stood the test of time. However, they're no better for you today than they were then. The only difference is today we actually know that they really aren't so good for us. Yeah. All things in moderation. I'm not saying you should never have another Snickers bar. I wouldn't think of it. Although I'm not a Snickers man myself. I'm more of a Kit Kat or Twix. But anyway, I gotta go. Kind of looks like the NQ may be starting to find a bottom. Okay, watch how these candles form. If we go sideways and these candles get smaller, we might, you know, go a little more, but get down to those little small candles, some dojis. Now that could mean nothing more than what? A retracement before another leg down. Remember that Russell we were looking at yesterday on the larger time frame, and I drew these pretty little circles. 1, 2, 3. I had the 4th circle drawn, and remember when we looked at it yesterday? Now, in case you weren't here yesterday, the first photo looked like this. Okay. 1, 2, 3 rally attempts. So the question was, if we get a 4th, which was number 513, we had a long alert. If we get a 4th, number 513, and it fails, the next leg down supports the greater trend, and we believe this to be a high probability, suppose it's a low risk move, right? So first snapshot, that's all we had. Then, oh, okay, here it is. All right, let me back up. All right, you see how there's nothing there? Now there is. Okay, so it did give us the rally. I mean, the difference simply This rally consisted of quite a few candles, quite a few candles, quite a few candles. This one, just one. Oh, I gotta go back the other way. Oh no, now we want to see it in real time. Which is, there's the leg down. One failed rally attempt, two failed rally attempts, three failed rally attempts, four failed rally attempts. And look at the move it's brought us so far. Okay, and what we talked about yesterday is, okay, if in fact it becomes evident that we are going to attempt another leg down, where's your entry? Where's your tipping point? And I think we took our entry at a 1658 last night. I'll be kicking out the recap tomorrow, as I do each and every week. So it's going to do it for today, my friends. Don't forget Partners Workshop. Don't forget workshop tonight for partners and passport holders. So be there, bring your questions, and we'll have answers for you. Okay? Thanks so much for tuning in today. Whoever you are, wherever you are, and may God continue to richly bless you with His mercy and with His grace. And I'll see you at the bell.
Remember this, there is no greater return on investment than to see a human life changed and given hope. As always, pray hard and trade safe. Any financial information discussed on this show is simply the opinion of our host, Dwayne Reeves, his co-hosts, and guests. To learn more about trading Emini Futures or to take a 1-week free trial in our live trading room, call 1-866-928-3310. 866-928-3310. Information discussed on this radio program should not be construed as a recommendation to buy or sell any security. Always do your own due diligence and consult with a licensed securities broker or financial planner before making any investment decision.